Hey, this is Tina.
Okay.
And this is Erika.
And we are A92A. A92A stands for ages 9 to adult. That's how long we've been on this journey together as friends.
92 is also our high school graduation year.
And ages 9 to adult is a nod to the board game Life, which we rockified as kids in order to live out our rock and roll fantasies. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Okay, we have a really, really incredible special guest today with a brand new lineup this year, an incredible new single out called Holy Fuck, and some scheduled tour dates. We are so excited to welcome from BulletBoys, powerhouse vocalist Marq Torien and killer guitarist Ira Black. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you guys here. So excited.
Yay! Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I was looking at your dates that you have planned. You've got a few Southern California dates and even a Colorado date, but you guys actually have an upcoming acoustic show at the Federal Bar in North Hollywood on July 23rd. I need to know, like, what prompted you guys to do an acoustic set, and what can fans expect to experience on that night?
We will be in loincloth and completely naked that evening.
What?
We will have candles and trapeze artists and all kinds of different stuff that night. Actually,
Wow.
not really.
We'll be naked underneath our clothes.
Yeah. We actually talked about it possibly doing it in the nude, but I don't know. I think it's already been done, so we decided against it.
Perfect. Okay.
You could call the show stripped down instead of acoustic and stripped.
And stripped, literally stripped.
Yes, and definitely we're in really good shape. We're not like some of us that are out there that are not very good shape.
Oh, no. We've seen, we follow you guys on social media. We actually know, and we're not going to name any names. Yeah. Yep.
No,
Yeah.
but what made us really decide to do it, I think I got to give full credit to our manager, Jessica. We did it before at the Whiskey under extreme circumstances, and me and I were able to pull it off. But I think it's something that's really special for our family, friends, and fans who I always put together. But it's something that people get to hear it a little bit different, acoustic wise. I tell stories, so there's a little storytelling and how the songs came about and what I was doing at the time, and Ira would tell a couple stories, but it just sounds great, and we have a really good time doing it.
I can't wait.
And hey, the first time we did it was the first time to actually play BulletBoys material together. Marq calls me up, says, "Hey, the band's not showing up tonight. Can you come and play a BulletBoy set with me tonight?" Tonight. Whiskey, acoustically. So yeah, I only had a few hours to prepare. I literally learned the songs in the car before I walked in to the Whiskey to meet up with him, and then we ran over stuff for about a half an hour. And they're like, "You guys are on in 10 minutes." I was like, "Bam!" So at least this time I have a little more time to prepare. So I think Marq and I are talking about bringing some cool things to the table with this too. We're not just going to go and all right, let's play our songs like we play on electric guitar on acoustic and call it an acoustic set. We're actually going to be working out a few things to do, bringing in Emily V, the violinist, our drummer, with a, what do you call that? Not a kunga, but, one of those boxes that they play on, I think, is what he was talking about bringing in. We'll see if Brad wants to sit in too, but, we're talking about having a couple of guests sit in, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, and people are actually starting to call me up and go, "Hey, would it be cool if I hang out with you guys and sit in?" I was like, "Yeah, come on, let's bring it. Let's do it."
Wow.
Yeah.
Tina, I'm so jealous because, Tina's going to that show.
I will be.
She's out in LA.
Yeah.
Tina.
I know. I'm going to be there.
But Erika, you're in Iowa, right?
I am physically in Iowa right now, but I work in Omaha. So I book shows in Omaha. So you guys got to come to Omaha because otherwise I'm going to miss it. We're
playing at the Iowa State Fair.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. I did not know this. Maybe I'll have to try to get over to Des Moines and watch you guys at the Iowa State Fair.
There's no maybes. No maybes about it. You have
it has to happen. It has to happen. All right. It's a done deal.
That's August 14th.
Okay, perfect. Yes. It's a done deal. That's amazing.
But yes, book us in Nebraska too. We'd love to do so.
Absolutely. You guys are always welcome.
It's crazy. I feel very, very blessed. First of all, that me and Ira are very close. We've been close friends for many years. But when the situation happened with the original band just leaving, I didn't know if I really wanted to continue it. You know, I've been the sole member of, always been in this band. I've dedicated most of my musical career to the BulletBoys and putting out albums, and I've been doing it without the original band for many, many years. But I walked back into it, and when it all kind of just went sideways, I think I took a lot of the heat for it. And I haven't done an interview about it, and because I'm not here to try to say disparaging words about other people that I've worked with. I don't say mud. I don't think it's right. I've learned this from a very early age. I've been in the business since I was 7 years old. So my thing is that I would like to wish everybody the best, but I am extremely excited and feel very, very blessed that I'm able to do and perform at a very high level, and to have amazing savant musicians with Ira Black, Fred Aching, and Brad Lang together, where it is the initial feeling of the way the band got started. That was with just a full piss and vinegar guys that wanted to do something at a level and still wanted to do it. And this is what we have now. We have guys that really want to be there for their fans, that really want to put out new music, that really want to perform at a top level and keep themselves in shape. There's not alcoholics in this band, or any type of exterminating circumstances that would allow people not to take it to a certain point. And I've tried to, with the help of the good Lord, stay in really great shape, vocal shape, mental shape, soul shape, mind shape, physical shape, and especially just as a musician, just trying to keep up on what I do. The main thing of this band, and it's always been from the beginning, was new music, and to put out albums and songs that would move people, and that would be uplifting to people in a party type of atmosphere, or in just a normal lunch pail and hard hat type of mentality. And that's what the BulletBoys is. It's a I've been told that I'm a B-list type of B-lister. I've never been a B-lister. I've worked with some amazing musicians, but if this band is going to be called that, we're doing things right now out of all humility that most bands aren't really doing right now. We just signed a new record deal with a wonderful company called Rock Avenue Records USA here out of Los Angeles. We just put out a new video, which was shot all guerrilla style, with the storyline coming up with Ira did the storyline, and the people that shot it. It would have cost us thousands and thousands of dollars to shoot a video at that level, and we don't have those type of finances to do that. So what we were able to do and put together, and especially the new single, it's just I don't know, it's very monumental for me, because I don't see a lot of people doing this, and especially in our genre. We were voted by Spotify through our record label as I believe about 3 or 4 days ago, that we were the most downloaded song of our genre. And that's
amazing.
That's kind of a really good feather to put in your cap, as they say, the old schoolers. You know, it's all done out.
Actually, what's really cool is that we're doing some new and interesting things. Because we all know that the music industry has changed a lot over the years. It just keeps declining in a certain way, where it makes it a lot harder for, especially musicians who've been around for a long time. It's easier for newer musicians to get in the game, because you can get on the internet and Spotify, all these places real easily and stuff. But these big number record deals don't exist anymore, except for, real, probably pop bands and stuff like that, or hip hop acts, for that matter. But we've actually somehow gotten through the gate, if you will. And, we signed a deal for a single, for one song, to make a video and one song. And if you added up the amount that we got, we don't want to disclose numbers, but if you added up that amount for a full record, if we got that for every song, this would be a 6-figure deal.
That's amazing.
We're counting this as a blessing, and this is a sign that there is hope to do things and stuff. And I also want to mention that if you heard what Marq said right from the get-go, he was very humble about the fact that he is the BulletBoys. Okay. Yes, there's an original lineup. I have to say this because, people say certain things online, and I think it should be addressed. They say, oh, Marq should just call it Torien. And I laugh at that, because Marq is the BulletBoys. If you heard any of the original members play by themselves, the only one you would recognize, honestly, sorry, for the most part, is Marq.
Yeah.
And he does own the name and he does own the band, but he never puts it to us like that. He is so open and so gracious and humble about it all. He, you know, he's barely even playing guitar now, even though he's a great guitar player. He's like, I want you to do this. He's, let me do a guitar solo live where the band leaves the stage and I play for 5 minutes. That's
amazing.
humble. This is his band, period. He owns it.
You guys are like blowing my mind. I have so many things to say about everything that you just talked about. And first of all, I think
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
I thank you for saying that, Ira. And I know we are a love fest. We do really care about each other and our families, and we have for many years. And thank you for saying that, Ira, because I got to tell you, ladies, you two beautiful ladies, it crushed my heart, the things that people have said online about me, that they don't know me. I've been accused of a lot of different things, of me having mental illness, of being so egotistical that I can't work with anybody. And I've heard this from the beginning. When I first came into this business, when I first came into, let's put it to Sunset Boulevard, I was told right when I walked on, the first time I've ever was on in the parking lot of the Rainbow Bar and Grill when I was 16 years old, people came up and told me, Beaner, go home. We don't want wetbacks in Hollywood. Was the other one. Yeah, we don't need spics here, man. You need to go home. So I've come from a city.
So he went home with their girlfriend. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's a cool thing because, when I heard this one, and it was a real big band, and I'm not going to mention their names, but a huge, huge band. It's still huge to this day, gigantic.
They're on tour right now.
I know who it is, by the way. I've read the story.
There was one person that came out, and I'm still very, very close with him and the rest of the band, because you have to have forgiveness in your hearts, because that was a different time. But he was the one that came in and created love and decency and kindness, and that knew me but didn't know me, but knew of my talent and everything else. So when it was a different time, and I try to explain that to people, how difficult it was for where I grew up, and how it was to get into Hollywood and to be recognized in Hollywood, especially as a brown-skinned kid that didn't have the accolades and the money that a lot of the kids from the Valley or the young kids had. Warrant had a lot of money. They had rich parents. Poison, same thing. I come from very middle income family. My mother and father were both savant musicians. My father played in Stan Kenton's orchestra, played with Frank Sinatra's orchestra. My mother's was an amazing singer, but they all went into education. My father became a principal and administrator for the LA City School District, and so did my mom. So to come out of this city and to be able to do something and make it, I give a lot of credit to Lonnie Vincent, who was my best friend at the time. We started in a trailer park, in his dad's trailer, very, very humble means, with no money for gas, no money for food. And so when I read these things that people say about me, and they don't realize how hard it was. And listen, I picked this course of my life in the music business. I'm not trying to have little violins playing for Marq Torien. I grew up very punk rock, so I'm able to take it. But in this day and age, you have to realize the struggle that musicians have come through, if they've had my struggle, especially through the diversity of racism and bigotry, trying to come through to facilitate just someone just caring about you as a musician and as a talent. I was very lucky when I started playing the troubadour at 17 years old that Greg Jeffria from Angel, who was my mentor, brought in Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. He would bring these people to come and see me play at a very, very young age. And I noticed one thing about the greats: they never saw color; they only saw talent. So that really drove me to have these folks around me that I was so blessed to be around. We just bumped into Robin Zander and Chief Trick the other day, and he gave me a big hug. He goes, he's telling his wife, I've known him since he was a kid, right? He's like, yeah. Oh my gosh, God, you look great. And I just had to tell him then, remember the times we used to sit in Barry's room and you showed me those chords? He goes, and he'd smile. He goes, like it was yesterday. Okay, yeah, you know, so I'm not crazy, but so I remember these times. So
yes, well, it's such a good point though, because Tina and I even talk on the podcast a lot. This was not a real ethnically diverse genre by any means. I mean, it was pretty white, like it was just white people. So
it still isn't.
rock still is very white, and for the most part, that's all you see, even with the newer bands that are emerging. So,
you know, back then there was a little thing that people are talking about now, but it was very prevalent back then, which was white privilege. And I got shunned, and I would go back to my mom's house, mom and dad's house, with my heart broken, and I'd have to wake up every morning and super glue it together. So I'm still in that same situation. I think that's where I'm at now. It's like, it's really, you know, you're older and you're trying to do something that's different and that you're happy with. So all the other stuff that I see and that people write about me, and me and Ira talk about it constantly, and he tells me, Mark, I love you. Don't read the stuff that my manager tells me to read it. But I have to read it because I have to see where some of these people are coming from, and if it's a legitimate situation, and I have to look at myself and say, well, are they calling you out legitimately for something that you do or something? And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't do those things, so this is complete hogwash. You know,
yeah, like, that's really tough. I mean, even in
if you
daily
really
life,
knew me, came to hang out with me, I love to hang out. I love to just. The simple things make me happy. I love the beach. I love fire pits and barbecues and friends and loving on my dogs. Writing music is my passion, and performing is my passion. My politics are rock and roll. I don't speak about politics. Van Halen never spoke about politics. David Bowie never did. My people that I grew up with, Iggy Pop, all the people, my favorites, they never brought politics in. They just brought rock and roll. So I think we need uplifting people that want to uplift people and get people out of their whole mindset of that whole thing that everybody bought into during the pandemic. Now we're coming out. I know things are still a little herky jerky, but you know, we're just trying to write new music for people so they can be inspired. And a lot of the young artists have been really hitting me and Ira up, saying how inspiring it is to see what we're doing musically. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it is what it is. You know, we love it, and people have no idea what we have coming down the water slide, as we say.
Well, I think it's great. And, you know, you mentioned at the beginning that some people consider you B-listers. I mean, you guys are in the right place. Katina and I did this podcast because we're such huge fans of this music. We were huge fans of this genre when we were kids.
Thank you.
You know, junior high, high school kids. We graduated, as we said at the beginning, in '92. So we were right in that like era. So you guys are never going to be B-listers with us. But I do love kind of like the more aggressive sound that BulletBoys has now. And obviously that's part of Ira's addition into the mix and his guitar playing and his style.
Ira was the guy that came up with it. Listen, he told me, let's go hard on these mother truckers. Let's get up, let's do your thing. Right. And it's like, oh yeah. Because then, you know, he sent me this song. It was just like, dude, this is so rad. We're on this. We got now, because it's in the now. It's right now.
Yeah.
We're coming with this pandemic. People, you know, we're all a little pissed off. Everybody wants to know what the fuck, you know, that's what it's holy fuck. It's like, can you tell me what the fuck is up? You know, what's going on right now? Everybody's.
But I think even you said it was a low budget kind of deal that you put together, but it's so stylized and so modern for how a lot of videos are shot these days. I mean, some of them are big productions, obviously, but some of them are very guerrilla and very, you know, kind of cool and using, you know, limited cameras. And I think it was super cool what you guys did. That video is a great video.
We got a lot of accolades for it, so I greatly appreciate you saying that. We worked our butts off of it, and it's not easy to do it over a month's work and shoot a mini movie and try to do it completely guerrilla style.
We shot that in 3 nights.
Wow.
All the photos just shot in 3 nights. Yeah, we had super high-end equipment, you know, but yeah, you know, so that's why it looked so great and stuff. But
we're you know, Ira's his modus apparatus is just constantly pushing, and I just applaud him for it, because he is not a lazy musician. He is a very not that. He is constantly pushing, constantly ideas. We're on the phone with each other every 2 or 3 days, you know, just like we were today, coming up with a new song, coming up with ideas of different things. And like, he'll tell me something, I'll tell him something and go, dude, don't tell me that, because we're going to do that.
So we have to do it.
Yeah, because we talk about things and go like, well, why can't we do this? And it's like, no, what do you mean, why can't we? Now we're going to do it, you know? So the biggest thing.
I'm severely optimistic. It gets me into trouble a lot of times because I just have this mindset. I think something, when I have an idea, I can already see it coming into fruition.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then sometimes I get halfway into it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I, said yes, or let's do this, or, but that's just the way my mind works. So my optimism gets me into a lot of trouble, but
that's awesome. That's how you create, right? I mean, you come up with these new ideas, and Marq, also, I want to commend you for taking the high road on a lot of this, because I know that's really difficult to do, especially for somebody in your position when you've got a lot of people doing interviews and saying things on social media. It's really hard to do. So I just wanted to commend you for that. It's tough.
Oh, thank you. I thank you so much for saying that. I've learned by many of the greats that when I was very young, that always told me, one of the big guys, big giant person that would signed us to Warner Brothers. His name is Mo Austin, and we used to have these little meetings sometimes, just me and him. And one of the things he always used to say, Marq, never sling mud, never say anything about artists openly in print or anything. He goes, but you can do it behind closed doors.
Do it in private.
Yeah.
People,
there you go. It's like, don't go out and say these things, because it just I am. And listen, there's a lot of things I could say, but it's not going to be it's not going to be endearing or anything. I don't want to. I don't like. That's not the type of person I am. I want people to be able to come and uplift themselves, and for fans that are really disappointed in it, I don't know what to tell them, but just otherwise that I'm still here. I'm the one person that never left the BulletBoys. I own the name of the band. I've owned it for many, many, many years. I've been very ingratiated to have different musicians in my band, but other people don't know. Some people have perished. Some people have died that played with me. Drummers, guitar players. It's not like, oh, okay, well, whatever, but just to keep the thing going, I've worked with a band for almost 11 years with two individuals, Chad and Nick, and they were incredible, and we worked our behinds off.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Hold on, I gotta plug in. I think I just lost power.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's okay. Hold on. 2 seconds. Okay, let's see here.
We get a little concert.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see if I come back up.
We're
Yeah.
back.
There we go.
We're back.
So yeah, I'm just really, I'm blown away. I feel very, very blessed that me and Ira are doing what we're doing. We're really, really excited about this record, and me and Ira, we're talking about it. We might be doing a double album here because we have so much material.
Wow.
I think the only time I do remember a band from our genre doing that would be Use Your Illusion, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, which was Guns N' Roses. So it would be quite a task to do it, but I think Ira's ready for it, and I am too. It'd be so bad.
We've already come up with a new song title during this podcast. Love Fest.
What is it? Love Fest. Perfect.
He's already writing it down.
We're a Love Fest. I'm like, I just wrote that down in my notes.
I have to say, I've got a couple observations to make right now.
Oh, nice.
When I first heard the single for Holy Fuck and saw the video, I was like, holy fuck. I mean, Marq's voice is so incredible. Like I can't, it's so amazing. It's so incredible. But I also just want to mention, as we were talking about the sound being more aggressive and Ira bringing that to the table, right before then, he was holding up his little fluffy kitty cat on the Zoom. I just want to say.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a sensitive side too.
Aww.
For years, I mean, I've always been leaned a little bit to the heavier side. I played in some thrash metal bands. Like when you guys were when you ladies were graduated in '92, I just joined the band, thrash metal band Heathen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
So I'm kind of known for thrash metal and stuff, but I'd always play live. Like I'd invite friends and people I know maybe hadn't seen me play live, and then I'd play, and then afterwards they go, oh my God, on stage it looks like you're gonna kill somebody, but you're such a sweet guy. When I talk to you, you're just like a regular person. So that's always been my MO. It's like I let it all out on the stage, So
yeah. I love your work, by the way, with Lizzie Borden. You had some great music with Lizzie Borden as well. So
yeah, I put my all into that. You know, it was a band. I think I bought their first record in '85 when I was 14.
Wow.
And I was a fan of theirs. I remember one summer, I think it was summer '85 or '86, the song American Metal I really liked a lot. I used to play it a lot with my friends and stuff. We were young metalheads, as you said, you ladies grew up as, you know, rockers and metalheads.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So that was cool to join the band all the years later. Same thing with the BulletBoys. You know, I bought the first BulletBoys record when it came out with my best friend from high school. And he had this awesome stereo in his El Camino. And we used to bump it like all the way up, driving around, you know, and just partying and stuff. And so all these years later, it's the same thing. It's an excitement to the whole thing for me because, you know, I always go back and look at where I came from and how this, you know, what's actually going on. I don't take it for granted. It's a blessing. And, you know, I also, you know, respect Marq having been around for so long. He was already doing it. You know, I was just starting out. Well, I started when I was 10 years old in 1981 playing guitar, but, you know, I was just still playing around in the garage and stuff, you know, and here, you know, Marq had his first hit record out, boom, you know, and so, you know, there's a lot of respect there. And like I said, I count it as a blessing being able to work with him all these years later because, you know, he's such a incredible talent. And even better, like a fine wine, I say Marq's gotten better over the years. I mean, you know, we were doing another project before this hit, actually, if I can mention it, Marq, called The Secret Weapons of Love. And that's how this kind of started out. So we had worked on some other music. And as soon as Marq came in, he literally sang the first line in the studio of this song. And I got chills and I said, oh my God, this guy can sing for real. I got even better. And then we went into the bridge and he did all those harmonies, remember? And I was like, oh my God, it sounds like the Beatles or something. I'm like, you know, Marq can really, really sing like, you know, like all the greats. He's a real singer. So, you know, that's a blessing for sure to be able to, you know, all these years later, work on a new album with him.
Not many people can say that. I mean, there are a lot of singers from that genre that unfortunately have not been able to preserve their voices to the extent that Marq has. I mean, there are a few really great ones out there. One of my favorites is Tom Kiefer. I just saw him perform live a few weeks ago. And, you know, it takes a lot, I'm sure, to keep your voice at that level. I can't imagine what goes into that. But kudos to you because you've definitely figured out a way to perfect it. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, imagine you're at a club hanging out and just talking to your friends over the music all night, and the next day you're kind of like a little bit hoarse. Yeah, well, imagine someone like Marq who's up there singing at the top of his lungs, giving his all, just wrenching his body. Like, you know, like do that for an hour and a half, then see how you feel the next day. Believe me, I'm in the studio trying to sing sometimes. I'm waking up next day, oh my God. Imagine being on tour, then he does it the next night. Then the next night, you're like, wow, you know, there's a superhero factor to that, you know, for sure.
And not only that, but doing it for 30 plus years. It's really pretty impressive.
Oh, thank you. I attribute it to, I've been sober for many, many years. I don't drink or anything. So I think that alcohol sometimes really can destroy the vocal cords. So I'm not a drinker and, I've been almost 28 years. So
great.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
And it's nothing to be like celebrated about. People go, oh yeah, look at me. Listen, it's not, I'm just very, very fortunate. And God has blessed me with some great pipes. I know a couple other cats that are really taking care of their voice also. With Tom Kiefer, man, that guy, he's dealt with so many vocal issues.
Yeah.
I think he only has one vocal cord actually now. Singing with one vocal cord, it's incredible. Unbelievable. Incredible. I mean, I did a lot of touring with him back in the day. So kudos to Tom for going out there and, you know, and bringing the wood.
Right. Well, Marq, I wanted to ask you a question though, too, because, you know, as a BulletBoys fan, when you guys first broke onto the scene back in the late 80s, I didn't realize that you were actually a guitar player first and that you were with a lot of bands as a lead guitarist. So how did that transition kind of happen? Because you have such strong vocals. I cannot imagine you being anything other than a lead vocalist. How did that transition happen?
It was just, you know, I was always a guitarist and singer. And I focused when I was very young, I focused on my guitar playing. I wanted to be the guy in LA, that dude that was like the guy, you know, guitar player wise. And I could sing, and I just sang for so many years that I think it was more of a challenge for me to play guitar and to be exceptional at it. And I think that's why I went at it. And then, you know, one further on down the road, there was an opening for a band called King Cobra, and
Mhm.
Lonnie Vincent was playing in that band. And he just came up to me one day and said, "Listen, dude, they're paying really well. Why don't you come in and sing, drop the guitar?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't want to do that. I like playing and singing." He goes, "Marq, I'm telling you, your voice is amazing. You can sing the stuff. Just let the guitar go for a little while and just be a front man." And that was kind of like the first time where I was like, "Hey, this feels actually really, really good." I don't have to worry about stringing. I don't have to worry about amps. I don't have to worry about, being in tune. It was really a different thing for me. And I've always been, man, I was signed with Motown when I was a kid, and I've always been more of an R&B, rock and roll, punk rock singer than just your normal rock and roll singer. So I was very, very fortunate, and I did a little time in King Cobra, and then right after that, we started the BulletBoys. It was just like boom, boom. We just left King Cobra, left it just like if you're leaving a girlfriend or somebody that's being abusive to you, and you're just like, "I'm out of here. I'm going to go on to the next thing." And that was BulletBoys. So myself, Mick, and Lonnie, we wanted to do something at a really high level, other than dealing with the King Cobra thing. We weren't into it. I wasn't into it at all. Trust me. I just wanted to be in there because Lonnie was there, and he's my buddy, and I wanted to be there. And Carmine, of course, ran the band and what have you, and it was cool. But it was just like we were destined to do something else, and we worked very, very hard writing music and coming out of Carson, California, when we started the band. But yeah, so
amazing.
That's where it kind of started off. Just me just going like, taking that chance and going, you know what, he's right. Let me get out this front man thing.
We're
So that was about it. And I started doing my own thing and creating, I dance a lot. So it's something that's movement and, and different things that I do. And sometimes people come up to me and go, "Hey man, did this person back in the day, did they rip off what you do?" I go, "Yeah, they kind of did." Like, I do it. It's like, so they seem, I love, one of the great things about having such an amazing guitar player like Ira, I like to play less guitar. So when I'm able to just dump the guitar and just be that dude and sing, and, Ira's just playing at such a high level and I can just front the band. It's really, really, really fun for me. It really is.
So
Thanks, brother.
we're so happy that you did everything you did to break out onto the scene like that. We were not in an El Camino era, but Erika and I were absolutely jamming to that first BulletBoys record too. It was so much fun back then. Amazing.
I think there was a lot of how would you say it? There was a lot of pregnancies that happened after that record, because I have people come up to me all the time at every show and they go, "Dude, I need to tell you a story." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh man.
And I'm like, "Holy cow." Like, people come up and tell me the most amazing stories, and they're just so beautiful and lovely. I'm just going, "You guys gotta be kidding me with this stuff. This is like too much TMI, dude."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right.
Love it. So you guys are both native Californians. Marq, you grew up in Los Angeles. Ira, you were born in Sacramento, I think, and then came to. Do you guys both reside in LA still, or are you somewhere else now?
Oh, yes. I'm born and raised here. I live in LA. Yes.
What do you think keeps you guys here? So many musicians have left Los Angeles and gone to, there's a lot of Nashville and Austin and Vegas. What keeps you in Los Angeles? I know it's not the low cost of living. I'll tell you that.
What do you think, Ira? That's a good question.
Well, there's many things. I mean, for me, I didn't grow up here. I did my most successful years before I moved to LA. I lived in San Francisco for 17 years and played with a lot of different bands there. And it had a great music scene. Then it started to die out. And I would come visit LA every once in a while. And my dream was to come here, be in the music capital for a long time. All the years really of the biggest years of the music that we play, rock and metal and stuff. And, when I come here and visit, I say, man, I got to move down here. So when I finally made it down here, I'm like, I love it here. It's awesome. It's been a lot easier for me to survive just in my personal life and to be honest, like I love San Francisco. I have a lot of friends there and stuff, but it's a little bit, people are a little more standoffish. I have a little theory that the streets are a lot closer there. So people are a little more protective. LA's bigger. So everyone's like, and it's sunnier here, of course, you know, that always makes people a little more, you know, friendly and stuff. But, you know, walk down the street and say hi to someone like, oh, how you doing? In San Francisco, you say hi and they're like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
You know, I started to notice that. So for me coming to LA, it's like, you know, a great music scene. All the great clubs are still open, most of them, and people are friendly. And, you know, this was the place to come for a musician to make it, you know? So why do I stay here? Because I still have that vibe here. I mean, look, I haven't slowed down since I moved here in 2006. I haven't had any downtime. I've been from one band to the next pretty much. So, and now playing with the BulletBoys, I mean, it's like, this is still alive here. We're doing this here. We're playing 2 shows this weekend. We're playing in Ohio in 2 days, and we fly home on Friday, and we're playing Friday and Saturday at both the Canyon clubs here. So music is alive and well in LA. You know, I think a lot of people that move away, you know, maybe they got sick of it or something, or they heard of some, you know, thing on the horizon, you know, that's better. But I don't know, when I go to Vegas, it's too hot. I'm not a gambler. And, you know, these are casino shows. These aren't club shows. So, I mean, that's cool. There's some money there, obviously, stuff. And Nashville is cool. When I go there, I can hang out for a couple of days, a weekend, but then I'm like, I want to go home. So that's just how I personally feel about it. So that's why I stay in LA, because for me, the vibe is still here. And it's apparent because, you know, we're totally busy and doing music nonstop here. So
it's great.
Yeah. I love your dog. What's his name?
Thank you. His name's Mulligan.
Oh, he's so cute.
That is my guy right here. He's such a good boy. He just jumped up right now. He goes, hey, I want to be on this interview too, dude. What's up?
Yeah, he does.
totally.
Oh, that's amazing.
No, it's true. Living here in LA, being born and raised here. Okay, come here. You ready?
We're not turning our back on LA. How about that? You
no,
know,
man, we don't turn.
You built their career here, and like, I'm out of here. It's like, okay, well, there you go.
No. I grew up surfing here, skateboarding. All my family's here. All my, you know, cousins, everything. My friends. I know that this town like the back of my hand. Yeah, it is a little bit more costly, of course it is, but everything's costly right now, and it just there's just something that LA is still very magical, and you have to know where the right places to go to experience this type of magic and wonderful things. And I don't know, I'll take it with all the traffic and everything else. I've lived in different states, and I've come back home. It's just something about just being home. Like I always say, when I can walk to a pho restaurant or Chinese restaurant or beautiful Mexican food, or there's a taco truck right there, I'm in, man.
Yeah,
it's a great foodie city for sure too. I've been vegan for 27 years, and there's an incredible amount of vegan restaurants here, like unlimited amounts, and so that's cool too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little rough here, so it makes you a little bit. You gotta be careful not to get caught up in the whole. How would you say it? Just the whole thing of people come here with these big dreams, honey. You know, they come here with for years and years and years, and they get caught up in the whole thing of all these people that aren't very good people.
Yeah.
So you gotta guard your heart, guard your mind. You know, you just gotta be really careful, especially these days, coming into Hollywood. And yeah, I don't like to paint a bad picture about it, but
I mean, that's the entertainment business, kind of. I mean, there's always been kind of a sketchy side to the entertainment business. But I know when Tina and I were growing up, you know, we would watch documentaries like Decline of Western Civilization, the Metal Years, and LA really did feel magical. It felt like that's where everything is happening. Like that's where you go to, you know, be part of that scene. And so I totally get it. I don't live in LA, obviously, but I totally get it.
She visits a lot. We make her come out.
I do visit a lot.
I've been here for 30 years.
No.
I still feel the magic. I love it here in Los
Angeles
too.
It's beautiful here. You just gotta, you know, it's just a different. It's a different animal. It's just like New York City is. You know, it's a different thing when you're in the city.
Yeah.
LA downtown, where me and Ira and myself shot this new video, it's changing down there too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's becoming, you know, a lot of big places are becoming very hipster, and the people in their own communities are really thriving on refurbishing their homes and making things look a lot better here during the pandemic. So there's a lot of communities that are really trying to uplift their communities with doing things for their own homes, and so everything doesn't look too run down. People are really stepping up.
There's a great divide too, though, with all the homelessness. That's really exploded in Los Angeles, even before the pandemic, but especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Some of the areas that, as you know, Tina, if you go down to Hollywood or some of those areas, but it's also expanding up into North Hollywood, and even sometimes up where we live. I'm up in Castaic, a little more north of LA, Santa Clarita area.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that decided to start camping out down by the Ralphs down here. She was there for about 2 months, right through Christmas. It was cold, it was rainy. We were bringing her stuff and say, hey, can we help you? And she didn't want any help. She's like, no, this is it. I'm done right here. We're like, can we help you in any way? She's like, nah. It's like, she didn't, want any help. She didn't know what to do. But so that's a little bit of a bummer. I hope, people can come together somehow to, figure out that situation. I want to call it a problem. It is a problem, but it's like, I think it's deeper than that too. It's, there's mental health issues, there's drug problems, and there's just people that just don't know how to keep up with the high financing of living here, but, so some people just want to live like that too. They're like, F it, I'm going to camp. I'm camping for the rest of my life. So
Whenever I see a lot of homelessness, that's the first thing I always think of is the mental health aspect of it. I think it's the primary cause of homelessness is just, the mental health issues that go along with that state. And so, that's definitely an issue.
Well, hey, and Mark and I are musicians, so we can relate because believe me, over the years, being a musician, it's like, battling, trying to keep the foundation of your life together. I've spent about 10 years homeless. As a touring musician, I would literally come home from Europe with nowhere to live. It's happened to me many times, and I would couch surf and call someone up when I landed who had no idea what, and they would, well, yeah, come stay with me for a couple days, bro. And then I slept out on the street before many times, in San Francisco, and so I can relate to it. It's not easy, when you're in that place because you don't have resources, you don't have. You have friends, and luckily sometimes friends will help you, but you can't burden them either too. I've had friends get sick of me like, dude, come on, get your life together. And I'm like, I'm trying, I'm playing music, but it's not, so we are blessed, You say, why do I like LA? Well, things work for me here personally. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, yes, LA, like, no, thank you to Vegas and Nashville. I'm not moving there.
I hear you.
No thanks.
Go LA. Go LA. Well, I have to know. I think Tina and I could probably sit here all day and talk to you guys. We don't want to keep you for hours and hours, but I have to ask you guys, what is next for BulletBoys? We've talked a lot about where you guys have come from and what you're doing now. What do you feel is next? You talked about a new album, new music. Obviously there are big things on the horizon for you.
I would say taking this revamped band to every place that we could possibly take it to. So people can see what we do and how great the shows are, what this band sounds like. I just have to say this, it just is better than what I was doing. It's just the musicianship is at a very, very high level, and it just sounds great that these guys have brought new energy to some of the older songs. Fred is playing like just lights out. Brad's just incredible. I call him Rad Brad because he's completely rad. So
and he's from Sacramento as well. We know each other from back in the day a little bit. Yeah.
So we just have this great chemistry, and people really want it in this band. They want to do something that's that maybe can shock some people that people weren't, that the normal musical crowd weren't really thinking.
I think it's kind of the best of both worlds because, as you mentioned, Ira, really the BulletBoys is Marq and Marq's vocals. So for the longtime fans of BulletBoys, you have that. You get to see Marq still performing that at that same level. But then you also have this addition of all these other really, like you said, high caliber musicians that are bringing something new
on the
and
drums,
different.
it's incredible.
It's insane.
Really modernizing the sound. So I think it's incredible for fans of BulletBoys in general.
I also, to add to what Marq said, we're all a bunch of humble guys. So when you hear us say something like, I did this or I did that, it's not so much like I did this, but, I've just a fact of the matter is I've been a very person that has extreme ideas all the time. I'm an idea person. I would, drink coffee back in the day and just sit there and write lists and lists and lists of stuff that I want to do. Like, I'm always exercising that creative part of my mind. And as Marq can tell you, we sit around and brainstorm on the phone all the time. So when you ask what's up the future of the band, it's like what we're talking about, trying to figure out how to crack the code, I've had a few high level friends of mine, I won't mention their names, who are in some of the biggest bands in the world right now that I've hung out with, talked with, and a couple of them said this to me, like, well, I think bands that have been around already and they're where they're at cannot break out of where they're at. That's the top of, they're not going to get bigger than they were before, and wherever they're at now, they're not going to really be able to shift out of that. So we've been hearing a lot of this kind of stuff, from people that matter to me. So it kind of, hurt my feelings a little bit, because I'm like, wow, that you're basically saying that, Ira, you aren't able to break out from where you're at. That's how I took it, So I feel challenged. So I'm like, okay, it's time to turn up the heat a little bit. So this thing with the new song, new video, a lot of people in the same genre of music are putting out new music. And if you listen to it, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to talk smack, but they're not striving. You can tell in the music because they're not putting out anything different. Or that's why I appreciate Marq, going, yes, Ira, let's do something a little bit heavier. Let's do something different, because that's the beginning, opening to the doorway to us doing bigger and better things, or, hitting other levels, so we are already brainstorming many incredible ideas. Marq had mentioned it the other day. So I'll say it now, just as a kind of a little precursor. I don't want to give away the idea too much, but we're talking about possibly maybe probably ended up being spring of next year or something, or summer, doing some sort of tour where we're playing people's backyards, people's parties.
Oh, how awesome. How awesome.
Yeah, so
I
like,
love
let's
that.
do something different. Like, let's reach out and go back to the roots. I mean, that's
like old school LA, right? That's old school LA.
I didn't invent the idea. I just mentioned it because Marq used to do that. Van Halen used to do, they play backyard parties back in the day. And it's like, let's do that again, because I noticed when we hang out with people, like when we played Rock Island Fest, we go and hang out with the people afterwards, and people are so excited to have us there and be around us. But because we're not like people that are standoffish, we go and hang with people, we'll hug them and talk. Oh my God, they're like this, So we would love to do that. Like, go to some people's houses, or maybe some company parties. Someone has a company and they have 100 employees, and are like, I'm gonna have a party at my house and I want to hire the BulletBoys to come play. That's what we want to do. We want to go out and do something totally different. It's like, we already played all the bars, all the clubs, we know what that is, but this would be really cool. Now we might need a few security guards, to just make sure, because people get a little bit crazy on us sometimes, but
they get a little crazy.
But I love that idea.
But we're coming up with creative ideas to do something different.
I love that idea. And Tina and I talk about this all the time on the podcast, but I'm a firm believer that this music is going to have a resurgence. And I think it's going to happen sooner than later. I think people are tired of the overproduced, like, studio, there's no instruments in most of what you hear. And I think a lot of this real rock music is going to make a resurgence. So I think you guys are in the exact right place.
Everything's auto-tuned. Hey, I mean, we can actually sing.
I am so looking forward to all of this. And of course, we want our listeners to be following you guys. You can check out their website, www.bulletboysofficial.com, to watch for tour dates, and also follow them on Instagram at BulletBoys. You can follow Marq and Ira separately on Instagram. We're doing all of that too. I want to share something kind of cool with you guys. This week is actually the 1-year anniversary of Erika and I launching this podcast.
Yay!
I know.
Yeah.
I just couldn't be more stoked to be spending it with you guys. So thank you so much for doing this. We started it a year ago. We just wanted to have some fun and talk about the music we love. And now we're like interviewing BulletBoys. And we've got listeners in 93 countries. So it's pretty insane. Wow. And thanks for
incredible. Congratulations.
Thanks for being our anniversary
Congratulations.
episode. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Did you imagine when you graduated in 92 that you'd be doing this all these years later,
Wow.
No.
That's so rad.
Now,
but it's full circle for us. We kind of did imagine it. I mean, we always needed to do something with this, right? So here it is. This is it.
Oh, it's so rad.
Here it is.
I just love it.
And I'm going to see you guys at the Federal Bar in a couple weeks anyway. So we'll continue this conversation.
Yeah, hit Jessica up and make sure we'll put you on the list or come hang out with us earlier.
Oh, I already got the VIP meet and greet situation, so I actually get to sit on the couch and chat with you guys at some point.
I love it.
Hey, Marq, let's give him something. Ready?
Oh.
Oh shit. Okay.
Here we go.
Which one are we going? Are we going for the verse or the chorus?
Verse.
Oh shoot, man, we haven't done the verse yet. I'll do something yet. What were we doing? I forgot. Play me the chorus. Play me the chorus. Here we go. Hey. I was putting me on the spot.
So cool.
Oh, cool.
So cool. Oh my gosh. It's the best one-year anniversary ever, Tina.
Yeah, this is so awesome. Thank you guys so much. This is a part of our podcast where we call out to our listeners. We want all of you to tell us what you guys love about the Bullet Boys. Is it a favorite song, a music video, a concert that you remember that you saw? What do you think about the new single, Holy Fuck? You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. And you can follow us and interact with us at www.a92a.life, on Instagram at A92A_life, or find us on Facebook. And until next time, keep ratting those bangs and banging those heads. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the invite, y'all.
Thank you.
We love you. Thank you so much.
We love you too.
See you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye.
You guys soon. Bye.